didn't see it coming. It happened so fast. How is my son? How is my son? Please let me see my son. Oh my God, this isn't fair.
Carl told me he left a wrench on the roof and was going to be right back. I heard him yell. When I ran over, he was already on the ground. I didn't see him fall. Man, we've worked together for 18 years. This doesn't seem possible.
I asked Mark if he wanted to go check the breaker, but he said all he had to do was change the bulb. Then I saw him taking off the cover. I guess it was more than just the bulb. This was not like Mark. He always locks out stuff before he works on it.
I can remember the accident like it just happened yesterday. It's just real vivid in my mind. I was testing the gas pump. A spark occurred. The whole explosion came all over me, and instantly I was inside a ball of flames.
It is always especially heartbreaking when a child passes on. We may even question our faith at times like these, but we need to work through our sorrow by remembering the joy Tommy brought into our life. And though his time on earth was dramatically cut short, we can still be comforted by knowing.
Most of the time, you probably start your days with thoughts of what you have to do, where you have to go. Perhaps you'll get the kids ready for school, then you're off to work. Driving through traffic, listening to the radio. You don't usually expect today to be much different than yesterday. Oh, a few things may change. Traffic may be worse or better than usual, and you may spill your coffee. Or perhaps today you have a new job site to show up at, or you may meet a few new customers. But you probably won't be thinking that today will bring tragedy into your life. If you did, you'd live a life of fear. However, you should realize that many of the things you do each day have the potential to cause pain and anguish and permanently change your life. So it's important that each of us keep in mind that accidents don't just happen to other people, but that they can happen to anyone. You, me, our friends and family. No one is free from risk. No matter what job you're doing, whether it's operating heavy equipment, opening a cupboard to fix a broken valve, filling a gasoline can, or using a lift to change a light bulb, if you do it regularly, it's easy to forget how dangerous it can be. Ladders are a perfect example. Each year, thousands of people are seriously injured using ladders. Some die, all because they forgot how dangerous it can be to use a ladder improperly and driving in traffic. Wow, thousands of pounds of metal, rubber, and plastic moving hundreds of feet per minute. Driving is likely the most hazardous thing you do every day. And yet, how often do people drive while exhausted, impaired, angry, or distracted? In the United States, no other type of accidents cause more pain and suffering than traffic accidents. It's not because we're not warned about the dangers we face. Look around. You'll see warning signs everywhere reminding us of hazards and encouraging us to work and drive safely. And whether it's TV, radio, newspapers, or magazines, the media is always letting us know about tragedy. The news is filled with fires, crime, and accidents. Maybe that's one reason we become complacent and stop paying attention to the risks we face daily. Losing someone you love is heartbreaking, no matter how they die. And even though dying is a natural part of our life cycle, it still is sad. But the worst type of grief comes from losing a loved one to a sudden, violent death due to an accident or crime. You don't get a chance to say goodbye, and it feels unnatural, because it is. Every 5 minutes, someone in the United States dies from an injury. That's nearly 100,000 people whose lives are cut dramatically short every year. Over 40,000 of those deaths are from automobile accidents. Think of all the suffering and grief that causes. People who experience this type of loss say it often pains them for the rest of their life.
I can remember the accident like it just happened yesterday. A spark occurred and it exploded. I had no idea how bad the burn actually was. Why me? Why did this happen to me? That was probably the only time that I thought I was going to die. The whole explosion came all over me, and it wasn't like it was just, you know, I caught my shirt on fire or my pant leg on fire. It was just instantly, I was inside a ball of flames. You hear about an accident that somebody gets into and they say, well, that guy came out of nowhere. You know, just real quick. And of course, this thing, I mean, I bent over to open up this nozzle and boom, there was an explosion, and it was just like that. That particular day that I got in my accident, I certainly wasn't planning on ending up in the hospital that day or for the next 5 months after that. You have to be aware of what's going on at work, what's going on when you're driving. You have to do what you know is the right thing to do, safety-wise. You should never let somebody make you do something that you feel is unsafe.
Life is precious. It's fun and loving. Think of all the wonderful times you've had with your friends and family, and what joy children bring into living. Their innocent smiles and curiosity warm our hearts. It's just one of many reasons why life is a celebration worth protecting. Each of us should think of the effort we take to protect ourselves as a way of showing we love life and care about our friends and families. Whether it's checking the air we're going into, taking the time to use a ladder properly, or tying off while we're working on a roof. Even though it may seem like it slows you down a bit, in the long run, it's worth it. It's not difficult to live safely. Like driving with care, it's just a matter of realizing how important it is to protect your life and the life of those you love.
One of the things that you learn from a serious accident like this is that it can happen to you. That whole theory about it can't happen to me goes right out the window. It can happen to you. It did happen to me, and it can happen again. And I know that better than anybody. And so I think I look at things a lot differently than probably most people.
There are many ways you can make your life safe and healthy. Simple things, like watching where you walk, bending at the knees when you lift, having your BP safety passport, cleaning up spills right away, and using a step stool instead of a chair to reach overhead. Even something as easy as making sure you get enough water each day can help you stay alert and keep your body hydrated. At BP, we want all of our employees and those who work with us to live healthy, happy, and safe lives. That's why we've asked you to make a commitment today. A commitment to improve habits that will help protect you, your co-workers, and your family. Though none of us are immune to the hazards in our modern world, each of us can still greatly reduce the risks by always being alert to act safely.